Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our midday live broadcast. Let me take a peek and see who's here. And for those of you that have questions, please type them in the chat window. I want to welcome all of my friends that are watching this live on Facebook and watching this live on LinkedIn. And of course, for those of you that are watching this on our YouTube channel, we have a number of folks that are participating in the live Zoom that are going to have questions. We just finished up our second session of the April boot camp. And tomorrow night, session number 3. So let's look in the question box. Okay, Stephen, we'll take a look at that. And a good afternoon in Australia. And let me look in the Q&A. Absolutely, Gretchen, no question. We'll jump in there, we'll take a look. So I can plan. What the heck? I'm sure more questions will come up. You know, in 1996, I felt back then that I had discovered fire. Okay. New to a network marketing company, I discovered a way to build a business on America Online. And for the next 3 years, because I had fire. I mean, go back to the caveman days. I had fire. I was warm at night. My cave was lit up and I ate cooked food. Well, everybody around me that didn't have fire went to bed cold, hungry, and they ate raw meat. And over the years, the ability to build your business on a social network, back in the AOL days, you had a profile with 600 characters, including spaces, no name, no pictures. And yet back then, some of my students became $1 million earners in their network marketing business. Facebook changed the landscape. People could use names. The key to Facebook, the key to MySpace, the key to all of these social networks is the ability to talk to the people on the networks through their live chat. Create a page, connect with people, start a conversation, and you're going to discover whether or not the person on the other end is a candidate for your business, period. In 18 months, I went from around 400 people to over 7,000 people. I was on my way to becoming I was already the top recruiter in the company, but I was on my way to building the biggest organization, and the company was sold out from under us. So all the leaders left, they went to different companies, and as a result, they all asked me to train their people. Now, Facebook, LinkedIn. Over the last 3 years, LinkedIn has become Facebook for professionals. All right. Now, there are 3 steps to becoming successful in anything. All right. And with all humility, I will tell you, there is no one breathing on this planet that can teach you how to network, prospect, and recruit for a network marketing business, or for that matter, for any business, than me. Every day I see new things. I'm in the trenches with all of it. 3 steps to becoming successful. Number 1, learn from someone that has achieved the results you want. 2, find out the exact steps you need to take. And 3, take immediate action. Now, for those of you that are in my boot camp, you are in the process of learning something behind the success of the top earners in your business today. You're in the process. Well, yesterday, actually 2 weeks ago, I shared a success story with one of my students, Sam, who had literally used a strategy to add 12 people to his business in 2 weeks. And I heard from him yesterday, right before boot camp. It's hard to believe I'm writing this to testify to my success. I've always been wanting to send you a testimonial. He's been a student of mine for well over 2 years. Well over 2 years. Thanks so much for coaching. I've added 21 new team members in the last 3 weeks and still growing by the day as we speak. So now he's got his activity, he's got his business up. He is signing up 1 person every single day. And from the last message, we remember that he's spending a lot of time in Zooms training people. But it's the next paragraph that I wanted to emphasize, and not the first lines. Your coaching is exceptional. Your way of coaching gave me the reassurance to go from where I was a few months stuck, not going forward, getting rejection after rejection, to signing up 90% of the people that he talks to. Now, I'm here to tell you, all of you can do this. All of you. The reassurance that you can do this is important, but it's your belief that you can be successful in your business that's going to drive this. All right. Unlimited access to people. I was a guest speaker on a network marketing magazine podcast today at 12 o'clock, and reconnected with a lot of old friends that are in their own rights icons in the industry. I'm told I'm going to be on the cover of their magazine next month, but it was really refreshing to hear the success stories of some of the folks that I've touched 8 years ago, 9 years ago. Because once you learn this, you're going to be unstoppable. And it doesn't matter what the social network is, but something that I've noticed, and remember, I'm on LinkedIn every day, whether we're in a boot camp or with coaching sessions, and LinkedIn is making some pretty dramatic changes. We're going to point them out along the way, and I'll explain why they're doing it. So let's pop over here. And first, We'll look at Gretchen. Now, so we can see with the green dot that Gretchen's on LinkedIn. Here it is. You learn something new about people all the time. Let me unmute you.
Hey, Max.
Gretchen, how are you?
Doing well. Been playing around with it, trying to get it buttoned up a little bit, but I love your ideas and
Okay.
constructive criticism.
So, let me, something here that I picked up: line dancing for fun.
I do. I take line dancing classes.
Oh, yeah. So you like country western music?
Not really, but some of the classes have like oldies and you can line dance to most any kind of music. Did you know that?
No, I didn't. I didn't. You know, all my life, in the younger days, I hated country western music. Okay, I never liked it. You know what you get when you play country western music backwards?
No, what?
You get your dog back, you get your car back, you get your girlfriend back. I just never cared for it. And when I was 50, I went out with two friends. I recently divorced, and I used to go out with these two guys. We used to go out on Wednesday nights, and they pick me up and they tell me we're going to this country western place called Country Nights. And I just said, listen, just drop me off. No way. Hate country. I just hate the music. So we walk into this place and I'm wearing a sports coat and a nice pair of slacks and a nice shirt. And everybody's walking in and the fellas are in cowboy boots and jeans and hats. And I'm just shaking my head. No, you know, I'm not going to go. And then they wanted $15 to get in. But I paid it. I'm going in there. And they had this huge dance floor. It was like it was a tennis court, not a basketball court. And they must have had 100 people out on that dance floor, line dancing. And 85% of them were women. And they're all wearing these cute outfits and everything. So I figured, well, maybe I'm going to stay. But for the first time, I wasn't listening to the words. I was listening to the beat of the music. Okay.
Yep.
And that's really what it is. It was the beat of the music. So, all right, I'm hanging out there, and then we were there about 30 minutes, and then they stopped the music and they said, listen, we're going to give dance lessons. And anybody that wants to dance lesson, come out on the dance floor. Well, there were like 8 women for every man there. So this very attractive woman comes up to me and she says, "Would you like to take a dance lesson?" Absolutely. So now we go down it, and I had a blast. I mean, it was outrageous. It was fun. I ended up signing up for one of the classes. And now, I mean, I love country western music. Okay. I mean, and it's great exercise. Yeah, it's terrific. Now, does it belong up here with all the other stuff you do? Not so
Probably.
sure. Not so sure.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
only because there are other things that you can put there. You've got a limited number of words and spaces that you can put there. Okay. Now, so global internet entrepreneur, marketing professional, business coach. You're looking for people that want to build a business.
Yep.
And so marketing professional, okay. Business coach, now that takes in a wide range. We could use home business coach,
Okay. I like that.
would open it up. I mean, you'd love to connect with someone that worked in retail, that managed large store, and now wants to be at home to raise her family.
Sure.
Wants, okay. So home business coach. Now, when you say lead generating expert, yes. By the time we're done, you're going to be a lead generating expert. But that's not going to attract the person that you want to talk to.
Okay.
The person that you want to talk to is not looking for leads. They're looking for career. They're looking for a job. The power of this medium is in the words. Every word that's on your profile is going to broadcast something to the person on the other end that's reading it. So rather than being a lead generating expert, you're a professional connector. Okay. You are a peak performance trainer. Okay. You want somebody that when somebody looks at your profile, they want to think, hey, this is somebody that I can learn from. This is somebody that I can benefit from knowing. Line dancing for fun can open up an area of conversation that you don't want to have. Okay, because there's a lot of things that you can talk about.
Yeah.
Now, of course, we could go up there and do a search for people that dance instructors. I had so much fun that I kept taking these dance lessons, and finally, what I did was I bartered with the guy, and I gave him sailing lessons in exchange for dancing lessons. So it was not that it was expensive or anything, but it really worked out. So it's things like that are going to get the person on the other end's attention.
That's super helpful.
Okay, now.
Great.
Okay, so now let's look at this part over here. This is where you went to school. Halsar Living LLC Wealth Building Partners. What you call your job is going to create, what you do is going to create curiosity. I'm not going to get into this. There's definitely some things you could do there, but let's just come down here. So Pulsar Living, Wealth Building Partners. Does this describe is this your network marketing business here?
I mean, it is it's a LLC in Florida. That is the name of it. The Pulsar Living LLC. I was just noticing on some other people's profiles that you've worked with that they have a business or an association listed that has something to do with wealth building, which I thought was very strategic and smart. And I was just trying to think of a way that I could incorporate that, but then still like be so ethical about listing. And, just the true matter of the fact is that I do this business under this limited liability corporation. So I don't know how to approach that or what the best solution is, but that was kind of why I did that. Was I added the wealth building partners at the end of it.
Okay, let's address a couple of things you said. First, on here, you never want to lie. You don't have to. You don't need to misrepresent yourself. You certainly never want to do anything that's unethical. Now, when you own that company business, Ribbon Shop,
Mhm.
you were the business owner.
Right.
Okay, so instead of saying business owner, words that really impress people, founder. Okay, you could also put down CEO. Certainly owner would also be appropriate. But when people look at you, look here, what they're seeing is you started out as an account executive. And what kind of a business was Leo Burnett?
Well, at the time, it was the world's largest advertising agency.
Okay, all right. So then under here in one line, world's largest advertising agency.
Okay.
Right, so you let people know what it is. Then you come up here, United Community Bank. What kind of a bank were they?
A regional bank.
Okay, so then we put something about it,
Large regional.
largest regional bank in the state or something like that. Then we come up here. So what kind of a business was Ribbon Shop?
It was a online retail store.
Okay, so then under here, online retail sales, what were you selling?
Woven ribbon.
Okay. So ribbon is in the name, so online retail store. And again, you were the founder. You were the president, you're the CEO. Now we come up here. Now this represents your network marketing experience. So what was Pulsar? Anything else? Did it represent anything?
So before we moved to Florida, it was just under a different name in Illinois, Gretchen Huey Inc. But then when we moved to Florida last year, I had to close that one down. And, so Pulsar is the name of my team.
Okay. Okay. So it relates to your network marketing business.
It does.
Okay. Now, this isn't a resume that you're going to use to get a business loan. It's not a resume that you're going to use to get a job.
True.
Okay. So, Pulsar Living LLC doesn't mean anything to anybody.
Right.
And you certainly don't need to list it.
Okay.
Okay. So what you're going to do, so you're calling it Wealth Building Partners. It's not a bad name. And what'll happen is when people look at here, they're going to see Wealth Building Partners. And you're the CEO, you're the founder, and that's going to make people curious as to what it is. So there are also going to be words in here that are going to attract people that are going to try to sell you stuff. And there'll be people trying to sell you leads. There'll be people trying to sell you all kinds of things. And the interesting thing about that is every time you add somebody that's trying to sell you leads or clients or a service or anything like that, they're also trying to sell to other people. Now, you're not going to get these people into your business, although you could, depending upon how long they were doing it, depending upon whether it was their business or they were working for somebody. But the bottom line is that their connections, their second people they're connected to, are going to end up on your second level. And most of these people don't realize that it's important to hide your connections. So once you connect with some of these people, the people that are on their second level are like you. So you can find that a lot of the people that are connected to the people that are trying to sell you things would really be great for your business.
Okay.
That's the only benefit. Okay. So once your profile's set up, then it's all about and there's some things that you have in the about section that's a little overkill, but
Okay.
but let me show you. Let me look over here, because the most important part of this is conversation. So let me look over here. Okay. So here you got International Wealth Solutions Group. Founder. Anna, you also want to I would also put down CEO, comma, CFO. All right. You want to make it easy for people to see what you do. Now, I'm going to log out of my account. Let me unmute Stephen.
Quick question, Max. So I noticed some people use this, like the pronoun thing. Do you think we need to do that in this day and age? That's kind of new to me, like I don't know. I know my kids at school are asked the first day of school to announce themselves like that and everything, but do you think we should do that?
No.
Don't need it. Okay.
No. Personally, I hate it.
Okay.
Okay, I hate it. It's a creeping. Well, here, let me just come back into my
It's
account.
so new to me. I'm just like, well, but I don't want to offend anybody either. I'm like, if
No.
that's like what
Listen, if
need now.
people can't tell by looking at your picture
I'm a she, her.
that you're a she,
Okay.
you don't want to talk to them. But
Okay.
what has happened to LinkedIn in the last 3.5 years? It is disappointing. It is it's a terrible thing. Okay. I mean, they are, you go over here to personal demographic information. Okay. help promote fairness and diversity on LinkedIn. That raises the hair on the back of my neck. Okay, it really does. Fairness and diversity, and I don't even get me started on this subject. So we go over here to demographics. Okay. Your demographic information. Which of the following describes your racial or ethnic identity? Okay. Now, I mean, if somebody can't tell that I'm white or Caucasian, if somebody can't tell that you're Black or African American, it doesn't make any difference. Okay. It has nothing to do with, and oh, by the way, if they left something out, you could add something. How about this one? Which of the best follow describes your gender? Man, woman, non-binary, prefer not to say. I remember years ago, you know, when Facebook first got started, it was all about school. They were all in school. So you had single, all right, and you had married, and you had maybe in a relationship. But then they started adding, you know, when they graduated from college, they started adding all different things. But look at this. All right. Let's come down here. Transgender, sexual orientation. Are you kidding me? Look at this. And you don't want to have anything to do with this, because all this is going to do is it's going to tag you for someone's marketing efforts. Okay. And they even tried to slip in there. Let's see if they still put it in. Okay, here. What year were you born? You know, you don't put your age, your birthday on a resume. They were very sly about it. They put, when they decided to go with birthdays, month and day. Because, okay, month and day. But now, hey man, they're pulling out all stops, and they're going to be people that are going to put your age. Primary caregiver. So they're adding all of this stuff, and you absolutely want to stay away from it. All right. Now, let me log out of my account. And let me unmute Steve. Steve, I don't remember your email to get in.
Hey there, Max. I put it in the Q&A.
Okay, let's take a look.
And the password as well.
Okay. Okay. So you are talking to Travis.
Yes.
And you got some celebrations here.
Mhm.
Interesting. Jim Britt is sending you a connection request.
Keynote speaker.
He's an old friend. He was huge, very successful in the Amway years ago. You might as well accept them.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah, I
only
would anyway, but I would probably send a.
well, yeah, but see, the primary reason you want to accept him
Mhm.
you're not going to bring them into your business. It's never going to happen.
Right.
Okay, but however, his connections. Now you can't see them, but when you do a search, they're going to come up.
Okay.
All
Right, I
right.
heard you say that they're number 2 now.
So let's come over here and we're looking at Travis.
Yep.
Now
He's
this,
right in the bottom there, Travis Steele.
okay, this is where this is what it's all about. You put up a profile, okay? You start connecting with people. It's all about conversation. So let's take a look at Travis. Who are we talking to? Who is Travis? Open to new opportunities. Okay. The first thing that you want to know about anybody is what do they do? So
Right.
let's go down here.
Hmm.
I am the owner.
Yeah, he's not doing that anymore. The tech
Okay.
business. Yeah.
He's a pastor. Okay. So according to this, and you always want to look at the entire history. 18 different things. You got to look because sometimes there'll be a network marketing entry. Also Metro real estate. Sold cars. Active in his church. IT. Okay. Interesting background. And the more, remember, the more people put on their profiles, the more open they're going to be to talking to you.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
So based on where you are with him so far. Okay. And it says, I finally introduced him to network marketing.
Yeah, I was kind of having conversations with him back and forth for about a month. And probably missed a couple, James pointed out I missed a couple opportunities where I could have introduced network marketing and I didn't because I'm kind of shy on that part. I'm good at conversing, but I'm not good at the business part yet.
Okay.
But I finally kind of said, hell with it. I'm just going to do it. So I did it. And he's interested, but I'm not sure where to go from there.
All right. So looking through. Okay. It's a nice opening. You sent it to him 7:13 in the morning. He answered. Well, he didn't answer this one, and a lot of people don't.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so let's go back to his profile for a minute. So according to this, he was a branch office administrator for Edward Jones up until December. And he stopped. At the same time, he had steel business. That stopped in December too. So the obvious question, well, is, well, you got a couple. Either why did you leave Edward Jones in December? 4 months ago. So what have you been doing for work since?
Yep.
The
I
idea,
asked him both
okay.
questions somewhere. Yeah. Edward Jones, I think he's the guy who said he didn't have a good response with his boss. And the steel business, he said the competition was getting too, and he decided to stop it. That was his tech business. Yeah, that's the point. Yeah, he doesn't like his boss at Edward Jones.
Now, let's see here. She's coming back and he's answering your other one.
Mhm. Yep. Yeah, he seems very family orientated.
Okay, so now what was? All right, so here is where you're trying to transition
Yeah.
or to talk about network marketing. And this is not the way you do it.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so in other words, have you considered network marketing? Could be a good fit for your skill set. Okay, now. Now, what you're doing here is you're going in and you're trying to explain network marketing to him, when really, whenever you bring up the term network marketing,
Mhm.
then you just come back and says, no, maybe a little. When I use the term network marketing, I'm referring to companies like Amway, Avon, Nu Skin, Mary Kay. Don't be afraid to ask that question.
Okay.
But this is a manipulative question.
Mhm.
And number one, when we ask questions, we want to ask open-ended questions, like, but the proper way, the more effective way to do it,
Mhm.
would have been to say, now he's entrepreneurial, so he's had his own business.
Yep.
And you could have said, and for those of you that are in boot camp, we're going to get into this is the subject tomorrow night. What you say is, many professionals with your level of experience are launching new careers over the internet. What experience do you have with the network marketing business model?
Okay.
What you want to do, what you want to do is, if you're going to start bringing up your business, you have to show the person, as you're explaining it to him, as you're laying it out to him, you have to show him why he would be very successful at this. You have to show him a natural connection. The more of that you can do, the more seriously he's going to take a look at it.
Okay. Mhm.
So let's see. I have thought about ways to bring in more than just 8 to 5, but I haven't tried it too hard to figure it out. Okay. So now one of the things I'm doing is building a network marketing business. Be happy to tell you all about it if you're interested. Sure, it can't hurt to learn more. Now, let me ask you a question. If it was going to cost you $500 to show them your business, would you shell out $500 right now?
No, the odds probably he wasn't too he didn't really jump at that, like, yeah, sure. No, it was kind of like,
Well, that's because, but that's on you.
Yeah. Okay. The way I presented it.
That's on you.
Okay.
we know enough about this guy where you could have said, you know, Travis, with all of your previous attempts at starting a business and pulling some of the other keywords off of his profile, you have all the experience, you have all the skills necessary to be very, very successful using the network marketing business model. And frankly, it could solve all your problems. Would you like to know more about it?
Well, I'd be like, yeah, sure. Yeah,
Well,
which change
okay.
it, really change it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So now you're explaining network marketing to him.
It's very dry.
Well, no, this isn't dry. This is brilliant. You pulled this script out of my scripts book.
Yeah, but it's probably not in the right spot, though, I thought.
No, like I said, it's brilliant, but you're using it on somebody that, for all you know, he already understands network marketing.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So large, so again, large, and if you're going to copy and paste something, you capitalize. Large companies use word of mouth advertising, generate sales, and reward the distributors with healthy commissions on sales for doing so. What attracts most people to network marketing is a long-term residual income component. But there's another piece in here that you missed. And that is that what, you know, it's the part where it talks about how professionals get involved with network marketing because with companies that have products that are in high demand. I mean, so that part's missing from this.
Mhm.
So imagine, if you will, receiving a 4 or 5 every month. So you modified it a little bit. Okay, now, so now you explain part of network marketing to him. And we're supposed to ask a question. How was your weekend is the question?
Yeah, James was like, yeah,
You're changing the subject.
yep, yep.
You know, the question here should have been, would you like to know more?
Mhm. Yep.
Okay. Now, let me just say to all of you that are going through boot camp, pay attention to my scripts. Understand this. You want to know how Sam has a 90% closing ratio? How he's enrolling somebody every day in his business. He's learned to dance. You know, Gretchen likes to line dance. Okay, it's the same thing. You learn the steps. All right. Then you get out on the dance floor. Well, line dancing a little. I never got into line dancing. I always like country western couples dances. I mean, because you're standing there, and you know anyway, it's a personal thing. But it's once you got the steps, okay? Create, connect, communicate, and close. Now we're giving you the scripts. You got the words. And you put the words to the music, to the rhythm of a conversation. And now we get out on a dance floor, and the more people you dance with, the better you're going to get. Everybody that you talk to is practice. So how is your weekend? Was the wrong thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Was the wrong thing. So he comes back, and let's see what he says.
He answers my question.
Well, anytime you can get income, it's good. Okay, so now he's telling you about his weekend. Now, see, this is what we're talking about. Every time you ask somebody a question, they come back and ask you the same question. You ask somebody, how was your weekend? They're going to come back. They're going to tell you. Then they're going to tell you, how's yours? You want to get it out ahead of time. You know, my favorite food's Italian. What's yours? Okay, so now your question is, let's see, when was this?
Just recently.
Okay, this was Tuesday. Was it yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay. So now let me now you can restart or start up a conversation anytime by asking questions. Okay, so you send them this. You send them that. Okay. Everybody's got what you really wanted to do. Let's come down here. So what we're going to do. So how is yours? Okay. So we're going to say. Now, but not yet. What we're going to do first is we're going to send them a motivating image. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams, which is something that, frankly, you should have said out earlier.
Okay.
And then I just sent this to a good friend and thought that you'd appreciate it too. I routinely send motivational messages like these to my friends on LinkedIn. Hope you enjoy them. Now we could come back and we could say, my weekend was fantastic, thanks. Okay, now you want to bring up the business. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to use the project launch script. Have you used that yet?
No, I haven't. Nope.
Okay. This is magical. Okay, magical.
Okay.
And so what we're going to do here is so let's see, where do we leave off with the business? So you started to explain network marketing, but see, we don't know what he knows about network marketing.
No, we don't.
So here's what we're going to do. Again, you got $500 riding on the line here. Okay. So
I'll bet it because this is the farthest I've gotten so far with anybody.
okay, so when I used the term network marketing earlier, I was referring to companies like Amway. Oh no, I can't believe you're going to ask that question.
Right. Well, I guess are you putting the elephant out in the room kind of thing? Is that what you're doing?
Well, the thing is, New Skin.
Yeah.
And you can always throw in Avon, even though it's direct sales,
Okay.
or Mary Kay.
Okay.
Now, why are we doing this?
We give him a reference.
No. So remember, we got to answer a question.
Yeah.
What experience
You
have you had with companies? Whoops. Like these.
Okay.
Now, why? and you're in Maliluca, okay? And so Maliluca is not a network marketing company. We're a consumer direct company. We're
Yeah.
not like those MLM people, okay? But the truth is that everybody in the world, Frank, I'm sorry if you're listening,
Yeah.
looks at it as a network marketing company.
Uh-huh.
And if you're talking to somebody that has any kind of experience, and you don't bring this up in front, okay? When you send them the information, they're gonna go, oh, I can't believe it. I'm talking to another one of those pyramid pushers. Okay? If he has a bad experience, if he's got a bad taste in his mouth, he got $500 riding on this. You want to find out what that experience is.
Right away. Yeah.
Okay?
Mhm.
Listen, Max, I'm not trying to sell you on network marketing. You got a problem. I got a solution. I got a potential solution. And if you got a bad experience, what was it? You know, how long ago was it?
Mhm.
You deal with it up front. You explain to them that it's different today. You explain to them, and it's in the scripts. You don't,
Okay.
you know, we don't have to chase people. We don't have to bother our family. We don't have to bother our friends. We don't have to have people over to our house. We don't have to go over to their house, blah, 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 blah.
Mhm.
Get it out. Again, and be professional about it. All right. So now let's pop this over. Now, when he comes back, and we know what we're dealing with now, we're going to use the project launch script.
Okay.
Okay. Now there's two ways to use a project launch script. The way that you're going to use it, again, first and foremost, we're going to pull out all the things that he does, that he's done in his business career. You go through line by line his profile. Does he like to teach? Does he like to train? Is he a team builder? Take all those things off of his profile that would make him successful in network marketing, number one. Then we come back and we say, listen, Travis, with many of the professionals that I work with that have your entrepreneurial mindset, your team building experience, and your passion for helping people are launching new careers. I mean, there's 11 different versions of this. New careers, working with me. Now, here's the project launch script. I'm about to launch a project. I'm about to launch a special project. And I'm looking to work with two people and help them become leaders. And you always want to lead with leaders, unless, of course, it's the money. So become successful in my business. Again, there's variations there.
Mhm.
And earn X amount of dollars in the next 90 days. All right. Now here, you have to understand your comp plan. Now, you don't have to mention money. You really don't. But in your case, what you would say is, I'm about to launch a special project. And what you want to do is you want to find two people that want to go to senior director in your business. Okay, because that's where the money is.
Right.
All right. Now, from the start to where he makes senior director, he can make over 40 grand. Now, he can do it in 90 days. As a matter of fact, I helped someone make senior director in 30 days. And literally broke the house down in your company. This was a woman who had been in the business for 5 years. She had been very successful in Tupperware, jumps into your company. By the second year, she's a director too. And then for 4 more years, she does nothing. And her husband is really giving her a hard time about it. Well, back then, when we did it, the company had a contest where if you hit senior director by Christmas, they paid a $10,000 bonus.
Wow.
Okay. So that was her motivation. And I remember, and I think back then, coaching was about $3,900. So first she signs up for it, then she calls me back the next day and she says, listen, my husband's going to kill me if he finds out I spend this much money. Can I get it? Can I cancel it? I said, no problem. But I said, how bad do you want to make that $10,000 bonus? She says, I cut off an arm. I says, well, listen, between you and me, there's no way on this earth that you're going to do it without my help. And you know it. So she said, you're right. So, and the other thing, I mean, to go from director to senior director, that's a big deal. She needed 7 people, 7
Right.
that make director, and she needed 3 of them that made director 3.
Mhm.
So she was putting in 12-hour days, 14-hour days, talking to people, but she did it. And she was, I mean, we got the recording of the boot camp where she calls in, she is crying. She says, Max, I can't believe it. I did it. The company called me up. They're sending me the $10,000. She says, I'm going to put it in an envelope and I'm going to go into my husband. I'm going to give it to him and say, and I'm going to say, here. Okay. And I said to her, I said, listen, I love I told you so's, and you deserve the I told you so. Give him half. Give him half. You don't have to give him the whole thing. Well, there was such a, I mean, it was all over sections of your company. And that's all of a sudden, like, boot camps are filling up with your people. I had another coaching student in another country that had 30 people make senior director for that contest.
Wow.
Okay. And that was the last time the company ever did it.
Mhm.
I mean, 30 people at $10,000 each, that's a lot of money.
A lot of money.
Okay. But the bottom line is, you have to, at some point in time, you have to show them the money. So senior director, I'm about to launch a project, help 2 people go to senior director, and you give it a name. It's a whole thing. You were in the retreat, so it's in the 90-day game plan, where basically you're telling somebody, go to senior director in the company in 90 days and generate and earn 40 grand. Now, are we making an income claim? No. But it was very I used to save the project launch script for just my coaching students. And then I opened it up to people that went through the retreats. I was reluctant to share it in boot camp because, number one, you have to use it very, very selectively. If the person that you're talking to does not have the aptitude, does not have the experience, okay, does not have the skill set to do this successfully, granted, they don't know anything about your business, then you use it on, on somebody that, drives a Federal Express truck, then you could be accused of making an income claim. Okay. But you're launching a project to help somebody do that. When you sit down to go over everything with them, if they do the work, if they do what's required, if they're talking to 20 people a day and they're following the scripts and they're doing everything, yeah, they'll do it. If they don't, okay, and you got to be clear about that. When in your in your orientation, you got to tell them, look, if you do A, B, and C, you'll get D, E, and F. If you deviate from, and I'm going to be here to help you the entire time. You plug them into the different trainings, although in your company, you have to be a little selective because you got leaders in your company that are teaching the old school nonsense.
Yeah. Mhm.
You know, in fact, James will tell you, I mean, we had a phenomenal conversation that turned into an enrollment. But at one point in time, we wanted to get him on the phone with somebody who's very successful. So Eddie Bestoso is a very good friend, and James called Eddie, and Eddie was Eddie. And the way he explained everything, it was all about, we got to make a list of your friends. We got to, and almost killed the deal. We had to go back and tell the guy, says, listen, we wanted you to talk to him because we wanted you to see that there are people that are making this kind of money. But he's old school.
Hmm.
And he's been with the company over 25 years. He doesn't know anything about social media. We do. Okay. But before you get into that, you have to know what a person's experience is. And you can use it incredibly effectively going back to people that maybe you connected with a year ago or 2 years ago. We're going to share examples in boot camp of people that were having closing ratios of 30%, 40%. They reach, 50%, 70%, because we're going back and we're talking to people. We know they have a need. Okay. And we've learned enough about them so that we can go back and we could say, we can bring it up. I'm about to launch another project. And you send out a series of two messages. And again, for those of you that are in boot camp, we're going to get into it in our next series of boot camp. But there's absolutely nothing to prevent all of you from, let me see here. Let me unmute Carla.
Oh, yeah, she talked to him.
Oh, Carla talked to Travis? Yeah, a lot of people are going to talk to Travis.
That's what she said, yeah.
Okay, let's find out what he said.
Yeah.
So, Carla, you
Hey,
talked. Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, you and I actually reviewed him. He wasn't sure about network marketing after I had told him about it. And he had told me, and it had only been a couple of months that he had actually been looking for positions.
Hmm?
Really not a really nice guy, but I don't seem, I'd have to go back and look. I don't think he had any experience with network marketing, but he said, I'm not telling you no, but I'm still interested. I want to see what else is out there. So this was back, and you can look him up if you want. And I just kind of stayed friend with him. He didn't want to get back into his business because he didn't want to be just at his desk all day long, solving people's computer problems.
Mhm.
He wasn't making any money from it.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Thanks.
So again, like I said, you're not going to be the only person talking to these people.
Mhm.
I think it was 2000 and maybe 15 or 2016. There was a company called Move, MOVE,
Oh, yeah, heard of that.
that was shut down by the Federal Trade Commission as a pyramid. What was amazing, they lasted 12 years.
Wow.
And so there was, when it closed, it was right in the middle of a retreat. And so I had 6 people that were all talking to the same guy. Okay. Now, what made it even funnier was 3 of them were my coaching students. All right. So now I'm in their accounts and I'm talking to the same guy, only in 3 different identities. The conversations were natural. Okay. We weren't asking him out of line questions. The man was a doctor and he had been a Marine, and he loved dogs. That was his passion. Now, one of the accounts that I was working with, I was in Eddie Bestoso's account. Okay. I'm teaching him and his daughter Leslie. So here I'm talking to this guy as a very successful mega $1 million earner. Okay. And then there was another one that I was talking to that it had a nice professional background. And the other one was somebody that was building a Zija business, and his background was horses. Okay. He'd been in the Army. So Army, and the doc was a Marine. He trained horses. The doctor trained dogs. So there was a connection. Now, the conversation started in July. The doc goes on a 6-week vacation. He's driving across the country. All right. So it was up to Ed. It was up to the other person. It was up to the cowboy to communicate, to stay in touch. Only the cowboy, the horse wrangler, stayed in touch with the guy. And in August, Doc comes back and he says, I'm talking to somebody in Mamaluca. So I'm considering Mamaluca, but I'm also looking at your company. And at the end of September, he gets a message from the doc. I signed up in your company over the weekend. This is all about relationships. People are going to do this when people are going to do this.
Mhm.
The more they like you, the more they trust you, the better. Now, why hasn't the guy pulled the trigger? Because if we went back, Carla, and we looked at your conversation with him, and it's probably a little bit better than this one, but you have to show the person on the other end, without question, what is their benefit. You have to emphasize the fact that they have the skills to be successful. You have to emphasize the fact that this is a situation where they're in business. While they're in business for themselves, they're not by themselves. You're going to be with them to help them through the entire process. You have to make it hard for them, if they are truly entrepreneurial, to say no. Okay. And if they do say no, okay, they said no for now. That's all. But you don't need to drag it out. So let me see. I think I saw Gretchen had another question. Let's see here. So email visibility. How do you suggest that we have settings? First generation. Okay. So, Gretchen, that part of LinkedIn where it says make your email visible. You can let everybody see it. Anybody on LinkedIn, give them an easy way to connect with you. Okay.
Okay.
But they claim that you could go in and you could search for people by their email address, or you could search for them by their phone number. But the truth is, you can't. That doesn't work. So, Actually, let me think about that for a minute. Um,
I mean, I figured, well, my email address is out there on other things, so it's not like it's a secret.
no, it's fine.
So I think like what you said, anyone on LinkedIn, just mark it as that. And it's this, for some reason, it becomes overwhelming or something. I notice there's tons more spam or something like that. I can modify it, but
Yeah, no, for sure.
okay.
Now,
Thank you.
I want to show all of you one thing and then. So here's what's happening. Let me, I'm going to jump into James.
Oh, James now.
Yeah, I just had a coaching session with him before we did this. Now, here's what's happening. LinkedIn, and this happens on every social network. You get these IT people, you get these computer people. They create these robots. So the program is capable of literally measuring where everything is. They know where where you click to get to the network, you know, where you can get to the messages. It's all programmable. So they write these elaborate robots that can go in, they know exactly, specifically what they're looking for. It's the same concept for with these people that sell SEO, search engine optimization. They need $10,000, and every time someone types in a specific keyword, you'll be the first one up on Google. Okay, and what they're doing is they're tricking Google. They're loading up a website, a web page with all kinds of things to fool the algorithm for the search engine, so that your name your deal comes up first, even if you have nothing to do with that particular keyword. And so every 5 or 6 months, Google goes in and they reformat everything. They move things. Okay, they move things. So that search engine optimization program that you pay 10 grand for doesn't work anymore. So you got to pay the guy another 10 grand for him to do it again. Subtle little things. If we let's look at his profile. They move things around. Now, what you're going to see, I mean, it's so subtle. But the area here where you list, whoops, let me just make sure. Oh, it was my settings. They'll move things around. The subtle little things, like for example, okay, here, look right over here. You have connect, you have message, you have follow, right? 6 months ago, you had the same tab, but you just had connect. There wasn't this little image here. The message was centered. Follow was centered. You didn't have the plus. So they add little things to screw up the robots. Okay, and it's going to, and they will end up moving things around. They moved invitations. It hasn't happened to him yet. It hasn't happened to him. It's happened to most people. Where if you want to know what your invitations are, you click on on invitations. It's going to bring you over to notifications. On his page, invitations are still here. Okay, if I log out of his account and I'll jump into Bill Safely's account. All right, now we'll go over here and we'll go to network.
Different.
Okay, so I guess he's not the one. So he still has no invitations. Stand by for just one second. David Moses, I love you. Hold on for 30 seconds and I'll be right with you.
Okay.
Okay,
Hey,
folks, there are some people that, I mean, we've gone over with this session. If you're looking,
come on.
so we'll be back tonight at 9 o'clock. And you don't want to miss that one, okay? Catch up to all of you tonight.